I guess my opening statement would be obviously that we are all, extremely disappointed that we were not able to, most obviously come out of this game with a win, but we weren't able to continue to do the things that we'd done in the first half. It feels very much like a complete flip from the first half to the second half, and everything that we were able to do very well in the first half, on the defensive end, thought we weren't perfect, but we were really active, we were really aggressive, we were really focused. I thought we guarded them extremely well, and that allowed us to get out and play well on the offensive end. And on the offensive end, obviously we scored the ball in the first half, we shot a very good percentage. We finished at the rim at a high rate. We made good decisions. We shared the ball. We didn't turn it over very much. That was a very, very good half of basketball for us. We came out in the second half, and for whatever reason, and that we'll have to figure that out, we were not able to continue to do those same things. Shots didn't fall early. I thought we continued early. We took a lot of good shots. We just missed a bunch at the rim. And then there was, a frustration that comes from that. And that allowed us to, or didn't allow us to, but that led us to not having the same energy and focus on the defensive end, which allowed South Alabama then to score at a much higher rate, and make more plays on the other end. And ultimately, that's what enabled them to win the game and cost us the victory today. We'll have to figure that out. For 20 minutes, we played extremely well. For 20 minutes in the second half, we didn't. We had some bad luck, and I think then the bad luck led us to not having the same level of energy and effort and focus that we had in the first half, and that cost us.
You talked before about this team playing the way it can play. Is there optimism to be taken from this in that they did show that for at least half the game?
There's a lot of optimism that can be taken from this, and that's what our challenge is now as a coaching staff. It's what my challenge is right now, is getting our players to understand that we need to learn from the mistakes that cost us or didn't allow us to walk away with the victory today, but find a way to more consistently be the team that we were in that first half. Some of that comes with maturity. Some of that comes with experience. Sometimes the most important lessons you learn are the hardest to learn. Right now, this is a pretty hard lesson to learn. But we're going to have to take something from it, and we're going to have to find a way to become more consistently, more often, the team that we were in the first half. We were very, very active and focused and cohesive. Clear, definitely on the defensive end, but even on the offensive end. And in the second half, we were not able to be that team. Whether that's letting bad luck, missed shots, whatever it may be, disappointment, frustration, that held us back. We have to learn from that.
Maybe a hard lesson to learn, but it's a pretty easy one to teach when you say, look, when you're active on defense, here's what happens, and when you're not, here's what happens on the same night.
In theory, I agree with that in theory, and hopefully that will prove to be true. Now this is disappointing. We had one. I wish I had more answers for our players. I wasn't able to push whatever button I needed to push to get our players to play the way we played in the first half. That's going to be a very, very hard lesson for me to learn. Unfortunately, our players have to pay a price for that also.
Karen, when you guys have gone through as much adversity as you guys have over the last couple of weeks with on and off the floor, does this one sting more just because you felt like you had that one something to hang your hat on a little bit here?
Right now, this one stings a lot. It was at home. We had played very, very well. It was right there for us to take, and it just sort of chipped away and chipped away, and they chipped away and chipped away. And I don't think we caved. I don't think we folded or caved. And it was a gradual decline. And it's our job, it's my job to figure out how to stop that. And I wasn't able to do that tonight.
Coach, what did South Alabama do in the second half that they weren't doing in the first half that made things difficult for the team?
My initial reaction is I don't know that they did anything different. They continued to try to get the ball as close to the basket as they could. Right? Driving it, turning into post-ups, backing guys down. They shot the ball better in the second half, right? I believe. Right? They'd made 3 threes in the first half. They made 6 threes in the second half. I think all of that came from, again, the ball was able to get deeper in the paint. And that stressed us, right? Stressed our D a little bit, and we just weren't able to do both. We weren't able to help enough in the paint, and get out and force them to miss, make them miss. Defensively, they continued to do what they did, right? They attacked Chauncey, attacked Rashawn when those guys were trying to drive, and I think we made a lot of good plays, a lot of the right plays, but we didn't get the results because we weren't able to finish the ball. We weren't able to make the ball go in the basket.
Questions? Jason, you heard Coach talking about how much this one stings. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it definitely stings.
Is it a little worse because it's a conference game too?
I wouldn't say worse. And I think our eyes, a loss is a loss. You feel like you have every approach to every game, and the outcome is you want to win, no matter how you get it done. So I think it doesn't sting more that it's a conference game, but a loss is a loss.
Jason, where did you sense on the floor, from your perspective, that something was changing in the game and that the time was starting to turn a little bit?
Just a lack of, like Coach said, shots not falling. I think the game plan was pretty much the same, but their shots started falling and ours didn't. And that's when you got to find that toughness and dig deep. And I think that's a trait that we have to learn. I don't think that we have that yet. And season is relatively early. Conference just started, so I got hope and faith in the guys that we'll be able to do that.
How do you guys recruit as players when you say that we have to learn that toughness aspect down the stretch?
Honestly, just come in to practice every day and just compete. I think that's where you learn it. In practice, you got to start there. It's not just gonna happen in games. So I think if we have a more competitive approach towards practice, I think it'll transfer to the games.
Hey, Jason, there's 4 words that we've heard come out of Coach's mouth a lot in the last couple of weeks: attitude, energy, effort, and focus. So those 4 things, how do you and the rest of the fellas take those 4 things to build toward the next game? Because this one's over.
Right, and that's the big thing. This one is over, and you can just learn from that and apply those 4 words that you said. They've been harping on those ever since we got back from Hawaii, and even during Hawaii. And I think we've showed spurts that we can follow those 4 words. But just a matter of growth and being able to apply it for longer stretches of the game. And hopefully down in stretch of the season, we'll be able to apply it throughout whole games.
You've been playing long enough that I'm sure you understand the value of active defense and helping on defense. How do you impart that to younger players who might need a game like this to see it and believe it?
Like you said, going through experiences helps you learn. I was fortunate enough where coming into the school, they harp a lot on defense. And, that's our backbone, playing good defense. So we just need everybody to get on the same program and just keep, trying to just, I don't know, just harp on it, just those 4 words Coach said, just go out there, focus on our defense. And I think guys are starting to see that when we play defense, that opens up our offense. And I think if they see that more, then they'll want to play defense more. And I think that's the bottom line.